All right, Oscar, in the spirit of the movie The Woman in the Window, we're going to be recording this film just walking in and out of doors at a brisk pace. Are you ready?
I love it. 3, 2, 1. Hello, who is
Hi,
it?
no, it's me, and we'll review the film.
My name's Oscar.
My name's Carl.
And this is
Who Would Watch This.
Yeah.
Sure.
Welcome to Who Would Watch This, the podcast where we watch a film and then discuss it, and then figure out who would watch it.
That's right, and today we're talking about the 2021 Netflix classic, The Woman in the Window, as part of our, literary month? Film adaptation
month. That
yeah,
sounds
that's
much
it.
better.
There's a theme.
That's right, it's not a mess.
We don't know what we're doing. The Woman in the Window currently has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 26%, a Letterboxd rating of 2.5, and an IMDb rating of 5.7. Oscar, what's the plot?
Oh, I've already been stumped. An agoraphic. Someone who's scared of leaving the house, woman living alone in New York, begins spying on her new neighbors only to witness a disturbing act of violence.
And if you think that sounds like an Alfred Hitchcock film, it is.
It is. Rear window.
You got it.
Nailed it. I thought it was rear window.
It's
rear view mirror.
Fuck me in the rear is what it's called.
Alfred Hitchcock really wanted that as the title, but the studio said no.
I know. They were like, if we draw the line at Psycho. All right.
You freak. Birds, that's too scary for modern audiences.
All right, Oscar, let's rewind to a time before we saw the film and tried to pick who we thought would watch it. All right, Oscar, so Woman in the Window.
Yes, this has just dropped on Netflix. You've already seen it, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
And you were very quickly just go, let's watch this.
We're going to have to do it on the podcast immediately. Who do you think it's for?
If you're a big fan of Windows and you're a woman, then I don't think it's for you. I think it's, it's not your target audience. If you're a man and you see a door, then this is for you. Carl, can you do what you've seen it? Am I right?
I think it's going to be for fans that love a book being told wrong.
Yeah, I'm always reading books. I'm like, if this was told in a different way,
I know.
worse.
I love the idea of reading a book and being like, oh, I just wish this was visual and worse.
I can't read, so that's also why I wish everything was in a visual medium.
I know. Maybe it's going to be good for me being illiterate.
Yeah, true. We can't read.
No.
We lie.
Yep.
And we're partially blind, so this will be an interesting one.
So,
Do you comment on the
oh yeah, we should. How much better is this audio?
Unless it fucks up in the editing
Oh,
thing.
yeah, it's
but
true.
Yeah, I'm going to say right now, every episode before that, unlistenable. Disgusting.
I would never go back.
No.
It sounds like our podcast improved by $600.
Yeah, exactly to the dollar.
This podcast has a net worth now.
No, it's a net loss.
Oh yeah, it's a loss on us. The network's gained. I'm never recouping this. I'm never gonna financially recover
from this goddamn podcast.
Never get my time back. I want my fucking time back.
Oh, buddy, you've lost that. You've lost that to watching the movies, editing, and then recording with me.
I know, and in some cases, like this film, I've had to watch it twice.
That is, so why do we pick this film?
Well, so I've read this book.
Yeah.
And I think the book's quite fun. Mm-hmm. And the movie had like a good cast and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, all right, this'll be whatever. And then some stuff happened and the movie came out and I watched it and it was fucking atrocious.
And you said to me, we should do this for an
We're
episode.
going to have to do it. We're going to have to do it for an episode. And before we jump into it, I'm going to give you a little history on the film because this movie has a very problematic production.
Oh, good.
That I think will lend you into the thought process of why this movie's so fucking shit.
Perfect.
All right, so The Woman in the Window is based on the New York Times best-selling novel The Woman in the Window, which is the same name. The screenplay is by Tracy Letts, a Tony and Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright.
Gotcha.
Okay,
yeah.
so there's already some talent there. You got Joe Wright, who's the director of The Darkest Hour and Atonement and stuff, so good director. You've got a great cast of people, a rear windowy like sort of premise. So the film started off at Fox 2000 Pictures, which then got bought by Disney. And then Disney started doing the test audiences, and the test audiences said they didn't understand what was going on. right? So then
Yeah.
they had to go back. They got Tony Gilroy, who did the reshoots for Rogue One.
Yeah.
He came in, rewrote the ending, and reshot some of the film. It then went back to test audiences. They hated it just as much.
Yeah.
During this time between the movie completing and the film coming out, the guy that wrote the novel turned out to be an insane sociopath who has an incredible New Yorker Times article on the internet that I suggest everybody go read about how he lied his way to like the top of a book chain.
Hilarious.
Really interesting. So his life story's been sold to a production company, and Jake Gyllenhaal is going to be playing the author in a television show.
So there might be a part of the film that Jake Gyllenhaal's based on this part that.
I know, can you imagine they make this film in the background of Jake Gyllenhaal's show? And then,
It's really meta art. They've made this film to be shit, and then they got Jake Gyllenhaal's like in the background writing it. Just it plays. It could work. It
yeah,
could work.
I think it could work. It's like the disaster artist for this,
But live action.
Yeah.
Like, not live action.
what was maybe it was animated.
It was animated.
824 nailing the animation game. And then the coronavirus pandemic hit, so then the movie got pushed from being in cinemas. Disney then decided they just didn't want to release the film. Netflix bought it. During the time of them buying it, it turned out the producer, Scott Rudin, who's a very prolific Hollywood producer, turned out to be a giant asshole and had been abused.
A Hollywood producer.
It's never happened before.
It's never happened.
It's never happened before.
Goodness. Okay.
So
Go on with your
then-
lies, but go on.
So he turned out to be quite a violent bully, and there was a lot of stuff that came out about him, so his career's over. And then the movie came out.
So Disney has their own streaming platform, and they didn't. Why the hell did Netflix buy this?
I'll tell you why, because this was like the most watched thing on Netflix for like 2 weeks.
Oh, fair
so,
enough.
there you go.
Yep. And now we've watched it.
Yep, that's right. And now I assume the audience has watched it. And I will say this, if you have any interest at all in watching this film or reading this book, it all kind of hinges on twists. We will be ruining all the twists.
Oh yeah, but I feel like our version of this art is probably the highest form of them all.
I'll tell you right now, the next hour and a half you're going to spend with us is going to be a lot better than the film.
Yep. Or if you spend 20 minutes with us, then that hurts. But it's fine because
Better 20 minutes.
better
than the
20
film.
minutes exactly.
But probably not as good as like 20 minutes of like Parks and Rec or Silicon Valley.
yeah,
or
but a matter of fact, there's so much better mediums.
If I were you, I'd turn this off and go watch like Boogie Nights or something. I watched that recently.
Isn't that 2.5 hours long?
Yeah, I think that's still just a better. It feels shorter. It feels like the length
Than
of
our
our
podcast.
podcast is.
Opening up this podcast. Oh, they don't want to. They know the hour's not almost as long as the film. What a fucking joke.
All right, Oscar. Let's jump into The Woman in the Window.
Okay, so
We begin with Spirally Snow.
I love it. Powerful. I'm already into the film.
I will say this because this is like an Oscar-nominated cinematographer who's done a lot of really good stuff.
Oh, good, because I like the cinematography.
The movie looks really nice.
Yeah.
You can see there's talent behind the camera because you're like, well, things look good.
Yeah?
I haven't got a lot of compliments past this opening bit here, but like,
The cinematography, all the shots,
All the
in
shots
fairness,
are nice.
is the whole thing's set in a house.
yeah,
So
it's
when,
really colorful.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's that, we're not giving them much, but
yeah.
oh yeah. So we start with this like snow globy thing. Don't know where we are at, but then we get introduced into Amy Adams' character. It's Monday.
Yep, there are so many people talking. Imagine a podcast playing over a film. Like if you were to put our podcast over Boogie Nights.
It's Boogie Nights director's commentary, and then someone's also talking over that commentary.
Yep, it's like, because I remember I just opened and I was like, why the fuck is Anthony Mackie talking? So in the book, right, she has proper phone calls the entire time.
So they're real phone calls.
So like, yeah, so they're like real like phone calls sort of thing. And I remember thinking, because I don't know if if you picked that they were going to be dead or not. I think it's quite easy to pick
It's
that they'll
pretty
be dead.
obvious. She's like on like I think she's got the phone like kind of like off in her hand. She's like, well, let me just chat.
Well, they never like. I'm like, how would they not be dead if they're just going to be talking over the? Anyway, it's like it's a very silly subsection of that book.
Yeah.
That I think if you were writing it, you'd be like, that's ridiculous to try and film.
Let's
We'll just
cut
cut
this.
all of it.
But it feels fake because they're just sort of like they're not even like carefully like voiced over. It's just like they've literally recorded them in a booth.
Yeah.
And then played it over the film while Amy Adams just doing like dishes or something. You're like, they're not real.
It's like they were like, okay, we're gonna get Anthony Mackie in the film, and he was like, hey, sorry, Scott Rudin, yeah, I've handcuffed myself to the sink.
Oh, rats.
I'll do all my lines here right now. Are you recording?
Wait,
no,
you wait.
better hurry up.
You
Amy,
handcuffed
no.
yourself to a sink? Like the tap? Just push it over.
No, I don't know how to do that.
Anthony,
there's hot water running. I've got to go.
Slams the phone down. Oh, I've got it so tight. His lines would have been better if he recorded it through that phone because it would have been actually for a
It
phone.
would have been like. Surprised they didn't just take audio from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. He's like, Bucky, no.
They sneakily. Can you just say this? Why is in the script Amy Adams? I'm not dead. In this, it works in the whole big picture. We're doing a Marvel Cinematic Universe.
When
thing.
it's edited together, you'll totally understand.
Imagine not getting the Winter Soldier. Like reading the script, going, God, it's like Kafkaesque. I just don't get what's going on.
I feel like Anthony Mackie rocked him. He was like, "This isn't a Marvel film," and then somebody like locked the door on him. He was like, "No,
No, let me back to my sink."
the tap's still running. I've got ants."
And the wasp. Ooh. Okay.
No, we can try and salvage this.
No.
Okay.
We'll cut it. We'll cut it.
We'll cut it for time, like this film does over everything. All right. Well, I gotta tell you, there is a part where she's sitting down. She's talking to a therapist.
Yes. So let's introduce. What is Amy Adams?
So-
She's living an awful life, which is drinking. She's schizophrenic, popping pills, and lives in a massive New York
She's
apartment.
living my life.
She lives a dream life.
Minus the apartment.
Oh God, this is the dream life for most people. She's also watching just old films. It's what this podcast is aiming to be able to live that life. And Amy Adams is like, oh, it's tough.
God, I wish I had a pill problem, but look at me, I've got a podcast addiction. It's worse. It's more unhealthy. I should be, like, under watch.
And you get none of the serotonin that a pill gives you.
Oh, God.
This just drains you.
I know, I can't remember the last time I got a shot of serotonin.
Yeah.
Might have been, like, the last week when we didn't have to record. It's like, oh, don't have to watch a bad movie. Oh, there it is. I feel it.
Oh my God. Wow.
Oh, my colour's back. So I can see things again.
Every time we record an episode of this podcast, black and white. Ah, rats.
I haven't seen it in a long time, but I feel like my eyesight's like the movie Amelie.
Yeah,
Is that accurate?
I think so.
Sure.
I like that if every film we watch, we think it's black and white.
Interesting creative decision to have all of the woman in the window be black and white.
It worked. It worked.
All right, so we find so she's not in a good space.
No.
I do like the fact that she's like, hey, haven't I got some rights? And the therapist was like, yeah, but you did try and kill yourself. And she was like, what the fuck, Carl? And I was like, this is really offensive to me. And I already feel attacked.
I love this
seconds
part of the
in.
film because she just dog piles on this therapist, and it's finally the retribution I get. Just like, Carl, you fucking idiot. Let me drink and pop pills at home. We've had this argument on the podcast many times.
I had to, what do you mean? Before we started to film, I had to put my fingers down your throat, get you to throw up all over the
The
place.
Shiraz is everywhere over the floor. It was a lovely bottle, and you've ruined it. Last week it was the Merlot.
We're now onto a cute little rosé. I'm very excited.
Yeah, oh no, the rosé is everywhere on the ground.
Oh no.
Okay, so this is Amy Adams' character. So that's her. This is her life.
Yeah.
She's phoning people. She doesn't really do anything because she's stuck at home because she's scared of the outdoors. Does it get why in the book she is?
Right. So in the book, it's because when the car crashed that
Yeah.
killed her husband and daughter.
Which is the main twist of this entire film, which is a bad twist.
Yeah, which is not supposed to be.
Oh, it's not supposed to be a twist? It's meant to be like kind of...
Well, like, I mean, that's like a moment in the book because the whole book, it's one of these books where it's like you've got an unreliable narrator.
Mm-hmm.
And so that whole twist is reliant on trying to make you believe that maybe she didn't see anything. it doesn't work in a visual medium because we ourselves have seen the thing.
Exactly.
So we kind of know she's not crazy. So it doesn't really work. Like, the main twist in the book is the revelation that it was 2 different women.
Gotcha.
Right? And that's, like, the big thing that I think propelled that book to success, is it handles that twist quite well.
Cool.
In this film, not so much.
Poorly.
But the thing is, so she's supposed to be like that because the car crashed and she got stuck in that car for 3 days before anybody came to...
much more interesting thing.
So she, for 3 days, tried to keep the father and daughter alive, only for them to end up dying anyway.
So she had like a 127 hours moment.
Yeah, pretty
in the
much.
Car,
Yeah.
And they were like, just cut that. Boring.
Absolutely.
Oh, but the fake phone call, keep that in.
Yeah, well, so they did like a thing, like I saw the director say, which is they decided that they tried to leave the house as much as possible. Sorry, as little as possible, which is why when there's that revelation, the car's like in the house.
Which is a cool visual.
Oh, it looks very pretty. However, I think it greatly detracts from a lot of what should be happening.
Yeah.
You need to be able to leave this house in order for her to have... Like, there's not only so many characters and subplots cut, because it's a book. I get that you have to do that.
Yeah.
I just don't know why you would cut it down to like an hour 30.
Is that an hour 30?
Like,
it
this
feels long.
Well, because, like, I don't understand how you would have a mystery movie where the murder happens 40 minutes in and is solved 30 minutes later. It's like they only were structuring it off of an episode of NCIS.
And it works for an NCIS episode.
It does work for an NCIS episode, but they've got Chris O'Donnell. This film doesn't have Chris O'Donnell.
Yuck. Amy Adams, Gary Oldman. God.
I want to say the kid is named Rumpelstiltskin,
Oh, good.
but I won't know for sure.
Rumpelstiltskin, Julianne Moore.
Who's the chick from Hateful Eight? She's wasted in this.
Yeah, wasted in this.
Has like 3. I don't know why.
They put her in a wig, pushed her out, and went, "All right, you're done." And yanked her back in. She's like, "Do I get a paycheck?" No, Anthony doesn't get a paycheck. You don't get a paycheck.
Oh, and Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, he's in there.
You got a good cast.
Great cast.
You got a good cast.
Shame. Oh, and Kurt Russell's son. I'm not learning his name. He's Kurt Russell's son.
Wyatt Russell.
Is that his name?
Funny, because he's also in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
So they're just buddies, just up and down the...
Just having a good time. I quite like him in comedies. I like him in, like, 22 Jump Street.
He
and
is
things
good
like
in
that.
that. They have that funny meet cute scene, which is...
Look at you having a little blush over it. Like you wish you'd had a meet cute on the level of them.
Yeah, we tried to do that on the podcast, but again, the wine on the floor just ruined the atmosphere.
Oh, I slipped all the way here. All the way here. Oh, God, you can just scoop it up with your hands. Everything around me so thick.
My feet are just getting drunk off the wine on the floor.
Oh, there's so much sun, it's solidifying. Oh, it's turning into a butter consistency. Why is wine doing this of all things?
Who knew bile and wine makes a great paste?
Hey, kids, and today we're going to show you how to create a great paste. You want to get yourself a little bit of bile.
Hot. Carl, can you come in here just hot?
And now sneak into Mummy's pantry, get the Merlot. You probably want to, I'm going to say 2001.
2003 if you're on the poor side of things. Anything older is, anything newer is just, don't throw that
Don't
up
even
in the bin.
You can't make paste from that. Oh, God. Anyway, so one of the things I think is really bizarre about this is that the whole movie hinges on her being like agoraphobic.
Yeah.
Or whatever the terminology is. Yet she's so constantly unfazed by the outside for the entire runtime.
For the first, second, she's like, "Ooh, don't like outside." And then I think any time she needs to go outside, she can go outside.
She fucking nails it. Anytime she's like, great. But they kind of do this in the book, but she's so upset having to do it every time. Amy Adams seems to do it pretty confidently.
She's like, thank God, get us fucking set for like a minute. Oh, thank God.
I can only imagine she was just trying to escape production. And they were like, hit her with a car. She woke up, what's going on? You're in the same film, Amy.
Scene 7. There's detectives here. All right, let's get it. Okay, so Amy Adams doing this stuff. She's sort of bumming around the house for the most of the part. But then next door neighbors move in.
Yep.
Which is Gary Oldman and the creepy kid. His name's Ethan.
Yep.
Very creepy.
A little bit of Ethan from 8th grade.
Oh, what's he in 8th grade?
The girl?
What? Bo Burnham flipped on his head. That's why it's a great film.
I saw it was in his credentials. I couldn't remember him in the film, but maybe he's one of the main boys. I can't remember.
That does something.
He's
maybe...
the dad.
Yeah,
I don't know. I gotta tell you, and I don't want to be mean to this kid. You got a weird face.
I'm glad you've started it.
Like,
because I thought he looks like he licks pennies. He looks kind of fucked up.
Like, if you can't, from a movie perspective, if you don't know that this kid isn't the killer from the moment he's like, I like cats' tongues, then there's no hope for you ever following a twist ever again.
Well, I thought it was like him being damaged because of his parents.
Yeah.
What the worst part is, I don't think it is that. I think he's just a creepy kid. In which case, why wasn't he arrested hours ago?
He plays it so creepy to the point that the killer couldn't be anybody else but him.
I mean, you can't... Is it meant to be you think it's Gary Oldman?
Well, in the book, there's so many other people it could be. And I remember the only reason you can pick that it's the kid in the book is because, rule of thumb, and it shits me every time I read, like, a fun murder mystery, it's always the second most developed character is the killer. And you're just like, well, the kid's been in this the most in comparison to the other cast members. He'll probably be the killer then.
I mean,
Otherwise,
he
it
was
would.
freaky, wasn't he? He was a creep. But yeah, so the first 30 minutes is just the kid coming over, Ethan.
Yeah.
Gives her a candle and does some of the weirdest stuff in the world. You're like, oh god, you've killed people, or you're going to.
Like, were you shocked by anything in the film?
The when they introduced the second woman, I'm like, oh, but then I went, oh, is this the whole story? And then Ethan being the killer, that didn't surprise. I was surprised Gary Oldman didn't have more to do. that's what I was
like. Here's the thing: I can only assume the movie was cut way down from the test screenings because there's little strands of plots that happen in the book that kind of wheeze their way into the background of the film.
Gotcha.
But clearly they've just gone, nah. But there's still little remnants of that there.
Because I remember, because I looked it up, because they had this, there's a bit in the movie where the cat's paw is hurt, right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't get resolved. Yeah. And I was like, what was that? And apparently...
The kid breaks its leg in the book.
And that's how Amy Adams figures out? Is that how it is?
Yeah, so the little tell in the book is the way that the cat is behaving around Ethan from a certain point of view. Because he's essentially been...
Does the cat get a chapter?
Sorry, the cat gets the most to do. I was
the most developed character. Second most, I guess. The
should have gotten James Corden to play this cat. I tell you. Yeah, no, because one of the creepy things in the book is the fact that the revelation that he's been living really in her house the entire time.
Yeah, that's a.
It's there's so much. Like I said, it's a very. I don't know why you would bother buying the rights to what is a really successful book if you're not really going to adapt it.
They bought the rights before it was written. Do you know that?
Oh, no, I didn't.
They just got whiff that someone was writing a book and went, buy it. Buy it. They went, oh, we got it. Oh, no. Just a Hitchcock film and rewritten. And the creepy kid's a fucking murderer. Who knew? All right, yeah. So that's the first 30 minutes just introducing the kid.
Yep.
Gary Oldman, who's going to be he's the abusive father.
So over the top.
So over the top.
It's like Gary Oldman. I don't know. It's like nobody in this film is particularly very good.
No.
And it's a real shame. I do think Amy Adams has her moments, but there's also some times when you're like,
it's upsetting. Like, she has some monologues, but then it's like, oh god, it's too much on her. Yeah. That, she's maybe playing a drunk schizo. It's like some of it's going to be a bit over the top.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we get introduced to Gary Oldman, who's going to be the murderer. Then we get introduced to Julianne Moore.
Yeah.
Who's the kind of fun mum.
Yeah. So Julianne Moore waltzes on in.
Yeah.
She's so over the top.
Freaky blonde hair.
Absolutely could not stand her in this film. She gets out a little picture of Ethan and is like, it's my boy, it's my little baby boy, my guy. And I was like, what is happening? What an odd directorial decision. It's my boy, my little guy.
Oh, he looks like he loves cat's tongues, doesn't he? Oh.
Yeah, she starts making out with the picture. I was like, stop this.
Oh, God. Him being a murderer is the less creepiest thing.
Oh, for sure. When she died, I was like, good for her.
Good for her. Got out of this film.
Yep.
And then we get introduced to Wyatt Russell, I guess you're calling it his name. Whatever.
Yeah, sure.
He lives downstairs. There must be more in the book. What is his character in this? Because He's just a dude.
So she there's like a whole subplot where because he ends up sleeping with her, and it's like one of the things is because it's like one of the things that never comes back is, you know how he comes to borrow that box cutter?
Yep.
Big part of the book.
Gotcha.
Where'd that go?
Oh, he's a knife.
Yeah. So that's like the other thing that I think is in the book is you don't see what she's stabbed with. So there's an ambiguity about
at the ending what she's stabbed with.
Sorry, so when Julianne is murdered, you can definitely see she's been killed with a knife.
Yeah.
Whereas in the book, I think if I recall, it might be that box cutter.
Gotcha.
It could be something it's like there's a lot of work in the book done to make you be like, well, everyone's a suspect, as a good murder mystery should be.
Yeah.
But there's so few characters in this film that it can really only be two people.
Only kid who's freaking me out. Oh, maybe he's the murderer. Crazy.
It's the one that he's such weird lines. He's like, sorry, cat, I'm allergic to you.
Oh, she's like, why didn't you say something? He's like, oh, I didn't want to make him fuss.
Amy Adams is there just being like, oh, you must be Julianne Moore's little guy. Oh, you're a little baby.
So before Julianne Moore's murdered, on their play dates, Amy Adams and her, she draws a picture.
Yep.
Puts it in the cupboard, and that should come back later.
Yeah, it should, but did it need to?
It didn't. I don't think it really did. I think she at the end, so she goes, this, look, and the police are like, no.
Again, it's all things in the book that are weaved into it to make you think that she could be insane.
Yeah.
But the movie never does a good enough job to ever make you believe she might be insane.
No, I mean, you think, oh, you're forgetting that your, what's it called? Husband and daughter have died. We know they're dead.
Yeah.
Is that the plot to Jack Frost as well? Is that a big part of that
That
film?
we did?
Yeah. No, just more that crashing in the snow. I swear to God, you can never drive in the snow in a blizzard.
People don't know. Yeah, it's like the whole catalyst of the film Misery.
Yeah.
People don't know how to drive in a blizzard.
No, I don't think you should. You just know you're going to die, or get stolen, or turn into a snowman. 3 options. That's all you got.
If Amy Adams had turned into a snowman in this film and she couldn't go outside because she would melt, but then saw a murder, holy shit, how is this not greenlit?
I can't call the cops. I'm a snowman.
Oh my God, she's got little stick arms. She can't get the phone. Oh my God, it writes itself.
When she drinks wine, she turns into a snow cone.
I love it. The therapist walks in and is like, why is your snow red? You've been drinking, haven't you?
No, I'm on the blob. Oh, Jesus Christ. The therapist goes for a lick. I knew it, Malo.
What is it? A rosé. You're a frosé, aren't you?
Slaps her, slush goes everywhere.
Yeah.
This could make some good wine glue.
Pick up your carrot. It's falling out of your nose. You look despicable, you mess. No wonder your kids turned you into a snowman.
As a cruel curse.
Oh, God. Anyway, yeah, so... I don't know, we'll just get to the murder. Nothing happens for so long.
Nothing happens, yeah.
There's just pacing's out the window. It's pretty bad.
Out the window? Oh, I hope you're not a woman. I reckon.
It's hit a woman, oh my God.
Okay, so she sees the murder happening from across the window.
Yeah.
Who could it be?
I don't know. This is the worst editing I've ever seen in by talented people.
It sucks.
How bad was this?
The cinematography is it's its own thing, but the editing's I'm gonna put this shot here and this shot and just clump them together.
It was weird. It was this shot's over this shot, and then there's fake CGI blood splatting it.
Oh.
It was over the frame, but then they never do something like that again.
No.
And I don't know why they left it in.
It's appalling. But yeah, so she's freaking out.
I remember being repulsed. I watched it with a friend next to me.
Repulsed?
In the first time, and I was like, oh. It was one of those things where I was like, maybe this film could get better, knowing where the plot goes. I was like, oh, there's no hope for this.
That's so your pivotal moment. You go, it's not getting better.
If that's that's what the turning point to get you into the film is, and I was like, ugh.
Might just turn it off right now.
Contemplating it, but here we are. I've seen it twice.
You've seen it twice. You're a goddamn expert at this film.
I know. My letterbox was you've seen one movie twice this year, and I was like, it's not Woman in the Window, is it? Ah, no.
God fucking damn it.
It's the real twist. I've seen it twice.
Netflix CEO, someone clicked on it twice.
Somebody finished it twice.
Greenlight a sequel.
The women in the windows. Where they all saw a murder.
Little Women in a Window.
Oh, that's a thing.
That could work.
That could be a thing.
That could work.
Little Women in the revision mirror.
In the rear view back street mirror. It's a trilogy.
The woman in the window fucks me in the rear.
It gets so smutty. Gary Oldman's still unattached.
We haven't even talked about how awful Gary Oldman's hair is in this. How much bleach did they put in it? His scalp must be not only so clean, but so unhealthy.
There's no nits. There's like a genocide of nits from his
Convinced the set must have had nits, and that's just the fallout of that.
A production with nits.
Anthony Mackie was like, I'm only in voiceover. I'm not coming to set. I got nits and I'm bald.
This is what happened on the first Avengers. I swore never to do it again. Kevin Feige promised that I'd never have nits again. I've shaved my hair multiple times.
This isn't a Kevin Feige production. What are you on about, Anthony? I've attached myself to the tap again. It's on you to get me out of this.
Oh no, there's nits on the sink.
Splash it with water. Drown them.
Okay, so... God, not much happens. All right, so then we're meant to led to believe.
Well, they get really quickly into just like, so she goes out to try and save Julianne Moore. She gets hit by a car.
Yeah.
Immediately she's back in the house.
With the funniest cops I've ever seen. It is the epitome of good cop, bad cop.
Oh my god, right? And I'll tell you right now. This is the book's fault.
Oh no, is that actually?
Yeah, like the book was like, what if one of the policemen was just like an asshole and just was like, what are you drunk? You probably made it up, you slut. Yeah, you little whore. And then at the end is like, she probably owes you an apology.
She won't give it to you, but she knows she should.
Also, she has your cat. Like...
Holding a hostage in a cop situation. But yeah, she walks in. She's obviously been hit by a car.
Yeah.
Probably dragged you up the stairs. They've gone, all right, this is a delicate situation. Let's bring the person she's called the murderer to be into the room, and I'm going to neg her.
But this is where it's just like so hyper edited, and there's no room to kind of breathe with the mystery that's building. Like, I always thought that you could probably make an interesting film out of this if you were to begin the entire movie with this scene.
Gotcha, waking up.
So, and she's like, well, I've seen a murder. You don't know, because it's the opening scene. And now she's confused because this other person's come in. And now you as an audience member doesn't know if Amy Adams is telling the truth or not.
And you're freaked out. You're out of the loop.
Yeah, you've got to kind of catch up. It's disorientating for you.
An angry cop screaming at you. You're freaking out.
But you're a whore!
I know that. The bottles of wine. I'm getting into the mood. God, I wanted to drink during this.
Oh, you didn't?
You watched it twice. You deserve it.
I did. I popped pills. I'm going full Amy Adams. So anyway, some of the stuff that they've like taken out of this, out of the book, is like, so they've removed the fact that she has like a job at home, being like a therapist online.
She's a child psychologist.
Yeah, which is like one of the reasons Ethan's drawn to her.
Gotcha.
Is because he's like, and the whole thing is that she wasn't able to diagnose him as having like I think like split personality or something like that.
Oh, so she's like not insecure, but like broken that she didn't call. Well, hang on, she didn't see that Ethan was a fucked up kid. There's bad therapists and there's a shit perception.
In the book though, like the kid's played in like, or like written in such a way where she, because it's through her point of view, is always psychoanalyzing him.
Gotcha.
And is like, oh well, maybe he's a very flamboyant. He's clearly got abusive parents, like things like that. Whereas it really kind of turns out that's all from him playing it to get her to think that he's like that.
Gotcha. So this genius little 15-year-old boy is playing into her psycho illness.
Yeah,
gotcha.
pretty much. Yeah,
clever.
Like
this kid
a lot more
this.
interesting things, right? I'm just like, this thing's more interesting. That thing's more interesting. But yeah, and like one of the things is that he catfishes her as one of the patients on her day job.
Really?
Yeah. Like there's like
so much more interesting things in this book.
So yeah, anyway, she just starts doing research and finds out somebody's died.
Yes, I don't know how she thinks Google works. She just starts Googling names.
I know, and then looking through the pictures and being
Yeah.
like, there he is.
There
It's
he
like it's like Gary Oldman's headshot from IMDb. Like, he's got grey hair.
His hair is awful. It's just like sleeked back white. He looks like... Have you seen the Hitman Bodyguard? Where he's playing that Russian, like, oligarch?
Oh,
It's that. But he's got this pretentious British accent, which I think is just his. But yeah, go on.
yeah. Oh, it's also like, so Gary Oldman keeps inserting himself into her house throughout this and just kind of like abusing things left, right, and center. In the book, though, it's because he, one, is a part of the murder, and two...
Oh, he actually has a role in the murder.
So, yeah, he sees it play out and it hides it.
Gotcha.
It's not Ethan's decision to hide it, I think.
Because at the moment, because it's just Gary Oldman being like a weird protective dad, but also beating people.
Yeah, well,
the
the whole thing is he's worried that he's going to kill her. So he keeps on coming across to be like, stop talking to Ethan.
Yeah.
Like, Ethan's trying to suss you out to kill you, but like...
And he knows.
he knows it's definitely going to happen.
And Amy Adams, like, on her, like, window screaming out to Ethan from the street. Do you remember that scene? He's like,
oh my...
Ethan!
Ethan, get out! And he flat out turns around and is like, you can't do this!
Yeah, he's like, I'm murdering. I know this is weird.
I'm stalking that bitch in front of me! Stab!
Oh, I was on the prowl and you fucked it up. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you so hard.
So some of the things that are just like, I think because of reshoots...
Yeah.
Is David's character's wildly inconsistent.
Which is Kurt Russell's son.
Yep. Yeah. He's like kind, angry, like threatening to kill her.
Well, because at this point she's like going crazy. She's going through his mail and stuff, and he like puts his hand on her. He's like, if you even look at my mail again, I'm gonna frickin' do something.
Then my favorite thing was he was like, we good?
But she's laughing throughout the whole thing. Is she meant to be laughing?
Sorry, I don't know.
She's like chuckling. She can't. I thought her like face would drop, but she's like, "All right, I'm gonna go upstairs."
I have all the power here. You're the tenant, idiot.
You're in 21 Jump Street, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're funny.
Yeah. Anyway, and then so we're just like she's like spiraling out of control.
Yeah.
I do like I remember it annoyed me in the book, so I was glad they pointed it out in the movie. But Anthony Mackie's character is just like, why didn't you take a picture?
Yeah,
like
because when she sees the
look
murder,
through a camera, click. It takes a second.
Is that because that is clever? Because everyone starts the angry police officer like, why don't you take a picture?
Yeah, why did nobody take a picture?
You dumb drunk! Look at these pills, you whore. She's so angry.
She's so like that though. Like it's like when she comes back and is like, something else has happened, all the police return. Yeah. And she's like, look at all the evidence I have. And she's just like, you could have taken the picture yourself. You could have drawn it yourself. You could have done it all yourself. Oh! Like, it's just the detective spinning around the room trying to prove her wrong.
These books are drunk. You're drunk, aren't you? The pills. This doesn't make sense. You're
Look at you. You don't even know how to use the television right.
Do we talk about how she just watches old films? Is that like a nod to Hitchcock?
Yeah, I think because it's just ripping off Rear Window so much. Yeah. That you can't do it without just being like, it's an homage.
Yeah. Look, it's in the film. We're not copying.
See, now you can't get angry. And it's like...
If anything, it's better film, right? Because we're doing a thing. We're doing the thing. That's right.
The only reason this movie's better is because there's little pieces of Hitchcock films in it.
Oh, there's
a good shot. Oh, it's the Hitchcock film in the background.
Rats. You get so confused. Is that? Oh, I thought it was a Salvador Dali film. Alas, we're watching Woman in a Window.
Oh, okay. So anyway, this is revealed that the parents were dead the entire time. Yeah. You get that nice spinning shot of the car falling. Yep. The reveal of the car. It's a really stunning shot, to be honest. It looks great.
What, the car, like, broken in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a practical shot, too. So
that's cool. It did look... I was thinking it did look a little bit fake, so that's... I guess it's an L on them. But it does look good.
Yeah, I think it's from the way that it's lit. Because it's almost like a spotlights on it.
Yeah.
So you'd think it was superimposed, but...
Because she walks into the snow, and I was like, oh, but then she only walks like a bit into the snow. But if it's practical, very cool.
Yeah. The looking at like the behind the scenes sets on this, you're like, oh, it's quite quite good set design.
You'd hope so. It's just a house.
I know. Like somebody just pump it out and they're like, oh, this wall's going to be purple.
Ooh, okay. All right. Anything else?
I put all honestly, I put all that eggs in that car in the in the kitchen basket. So
you know,
if that doesn't play out, this movie's fucking doomed.
How much is this scene? Oh, it's only for 4 set. Oh,
I thought this was most of the film. Can we keep the car in the background the entire time? You want to move it when it's done?
We can't do that.
We built the set around the car. How do you expect to get it out of here? I crashed it myself.
I'm in pain.
Are you filming? The snow's gonna melt.
I had my kid and my husband in the car when I crashed the car.
Oh no! Runs up into it.
Anyway, so this happens.
Yeah.
But everyone from the film, all characters, the police,
They're all
Gary
just
Oldman.
there.
It feels like a play, and I hate when films feel like a play.
Yeah.
Everyone's on stage, like, you were murdered. And she's like, boom.
I do think Amy Adams is quite good in this scene.
Yeah.
She acts quite well.
It's a good monologue, but then I think it's ruined when she is filming her suicide monologue.
Ugh, that for sure is a fucking reshoot, in my opinion.
It really sucks because
that's based on nothing. That's just they just did that.
Oh god, it sucks. So anyway, she's like realized she's like her husband and
she's like, well, I must be insane.
Yeah,
so I guess you're all right.
I'm gonna kill myself. So that's just her recording it through like an iPhone. Half the screen's like this shitty blurry.
Yeah.
Camcorder, but it's an iPhone. We all know what an iPhone.
I know. There's like some odd directorial decisions. Like there's a part where it's like Julianne Moore and Amy Adams conversation, but from the point of a boat. It's like rocking back and forth. Do you remember that?
I
and
do.
It's like, it's poignant.
It's
and
because their relationship's rocky.
Oh.
The film. Balboa. Fighting.
So we get to the end.
Anyway, so we get to the end. So she's about to commit suicide.
Yeah.
She's she's crushed up her pills.
Yeah.
She's gonna OD on pills, right?
So this is the very clear reshoot to me, because the mystery ends so abruptly.
Yeah.
She's like, I see a photo, and then Wyatt Russell comes in knowing all the information she needs to know.
Before I died, let me tell you, and then
Yeah.
Ethan stabs him comically.
I know. Oh, it's so dumb. Again, like in the book, he doesn't die. He's not even in the third act.
Gotcha.
So it's like, I know that audiences were very confused by the twist and they didn't understand it, which is why. And then they completely change everything to do with Ethan's motivation, which is why Ethan stands in a separate doorway with no other cast or crew.
And monologues why.
Monologues all of it.
All right, this is why I want to murder you. You remind me of my mum, who was a crack addict, and you're... Actually, no. How about you were bad to your family, and my mum was bad to my family, so I guess that's why I want to kill you.
Yeah.
And that... I think he says in it, I haven't thought of it, like, a motive for killing these women.
Yeah, he says, he's like, I'm still figuring myself out. Like murdering's, I don't know, a sexuality.
Yeah, I don't know. I started cutting off their ears, but that got old real quick. So I guess I'm murdering women in their 40s.
I'm now into shoes.
Got a lot of shoes, but I don't really... They're stinking at the place.
And I don't fit in them. They're not my size. I'm a 4. I kill girls that are a 6.
I'm a woman's 4. My stubby little toes.
I was really into that Devil Wears Prada movie, so I started only killing people with Prada shoes.
But they're really hard to come by. We're in a pretty crappy part of New York.
I know. So. We bought the place next door for 5.5 when they wanted 6.
We undercut them, and it really shows. The whole neighborhood's gone to shit.
That's my favorite part of the movie, is the therapist only coming around to be like, well, how's the real estate game going? What'd they buy that place for? And that when she's sitting there being like, you gonna psychoanalyze me or not? This is expensive.
I'm in the market. So what's the...
5.5, does it have a pool?
So yeah, Ethan's monologuing.
Yeah.
She's about to then commit suicide with the pills.
Yeah.
She grabs a wine bottle, smashes it against his head.
Also, she pours the pills into the wine, has a pretty hefty gulp.
Yep.
I feel like she should be pretty high during
She's
this.
buzzed, but in fairness, she's been buzzed for the last, 10 months. This is a casual Tuesday for her. Oh boy, it's the morning.
Yeah, he's like, I thought you were going to kill yourself. And she's like, no, pouring all the pills into a drink. What do you reckon this is? I'm making a cocktail.
I'm going to drink this and watch Citizen Kane. Glug, 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 glug,
It's
glug.
not an Alfred Hitchcock film. What do you want about? I'll watch Rebecca.
Ethan's like, oh, Rebecca's pretty lame.
He's like, ugh. How far through would I?
We'll sit down, watch
We'll
that.
watch the rest of it. Can I have some of your cocktail?
you got Rope. Oh, I guess we'll watch
We'll
Rope.
watch Rope.
Anyway, yeah, so Amy Adams smashes the wine bottle.
I hate this fight so much. It's like got Looney Tunes sound effects over the top of it.
I think it might. So
It's
she...
like woo boo 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 and like and weird sounds.
We do need to add some sound effects to this podcast, so I'll edit those in. But yeah, so she runs up the stairs. Ethan's like, not too soon, Wyatt, and then stabs him a bit.
Yeah.
So now they're on... This feels so out of place that they're on the rooftop, completely flooded. How is this the end? It's such a tonal shift.
I know, it's like, it's turned into something very different. Like... I think like one of the reasons that this is like definitely a reshoot, I think, is because they could probably only afford Wyatt Russell and Ethan to come back. But when they were working it out, it made no sense for Wyatt Russell to be in the room and then just walk away.
Yeah.
If they're going to have a fight. So then they were like, well, he'll have to kill him.
Yeah.
So...
But not enough so now he's in the hallway. And then he stabs him again to give Amy Adams a bit of time to get up the stairs.
Yeah, I feel like perhaps maybe they also had the note that not enough happens in the film. So they're like, this is action, it's death, it's violent, it's something.
Also, another reshoot that definitely happened was Wyatt points to a skylight and goes, you got mold. So I'm going to leave now. The skylight has mold. It's very rickety. Anyway.
I know, it's pretty
That's me
spot
done.
on. That is also in the book.
Oh, is
he's
it?
fixing the house. Like, it's... The book ends on the... It doesn't end in a fight, but it ends on the roof.
Gotcha.
It's like her big moment stepping out.
Oh,
onto
out of the house.
Out onto that roof.
Yeah.
Like, sort of thing. Like, okay, she's...
But she has no issues walking out at the end of this scene.
Yeah, she just is kind of like, all right, I gotta do it to survive.
Gotta do the door.
Yeah.
The whole place is flooded. I think this is a low... This should break the roof.
Yeah, it should. Where's any of her drainage? Also, what a waste of a roof if you're not gonna... It's a gorgeous roof.
It is a gorgeous roof.
It's a gorgeous roof.
It's got these lovely little tomato plants on it. It's got like a little like walk-through garden. It's very nice.
So that garden should be dead.
Yeah, she hasn't watered it for 10 months.
Yeah.
Shit, green farm.
That makes
Too
no
drunk.
sense, though.
Too goddamn drunk.
I know. Well, she water it with wine. She's like, I don't know where the water comes from. Here, the wine.
Splashing it over. There you go, tomatoes. That's why he killed him.
I know. Also, during the scene, Ethan learns to teleport.
Oh, yeah. So Amy Adams is on the roof. He has a knife. She slaps the knife out of his hand or something.
Yeah, he stabs it into a thing, and then she moves the thing, and then he's gone. She's like, now I have the knife.
Yeah.
And then she gets randomly, violently just stabbed in the cheek.
Yeah, with a garden hoe thing.
Yeah.
It goes through her cheeks properly.
Yeah, I just remember being like, this is very needless violence.
Yeah. Which is go nuts. But then then Ethan gets pushed through the skylight.
How does she overpower him?
No clue. That must be so much pain.
He's literally about to throw her off the roof, and somehow she's like, I'm in charge now.
But he's holding her by the cheek. That must be excruciatingly painful.
He's so tall in comparison to her. I don't believe for a second he's 15.
He looks 25.
Yeah.
He looks like he licks cats.
I know, he loves cat tongues. And then, because of this traumatizing ordeal, she's cured, and the movie ends.
The detective comes in hey, that was pretty messed up. Here's your phone to delete the evidence that we fucked up quite a bit. Anyway, my detective partner doesn't say sorry.
I love the idea that he just gets his own series of novels where he just gaslights women that are seeing murders and then comes in and is like, oh, I've done it again.
That could be a BBC hour-long show that goes for 29 years.
The murder he didn't believe was written. The murder he didn't believe she wrote. Damn it! Damn it!
You idiot.
It was right there.
I ghost wrote a murderer.
Thoughts?
Thoughts? I don't know. It's definitely not one that it's a weird one because it's definitely not the worst film we've watched, but
No.
it is painfully boring. And with this many actors, should just be better.
It should be quite good. You've got the director was nominated for Best Picture and Best Director and writing the year before for The Darkest Hour.
Yeah.
And has made some very good films, and then that movie Pan.
Well, hang on. Big fan of Pan.
No, you're not.
No, I left the cinema for that. That's one of the only 3 movies I've left for the cinema for.
You saw that in a cinema?
Yeah.
What?
I'm one of the, it made zero money.
No, it made no money. It cost all the money.
Yeah.
You saw that in a cinema?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever met somebody that's seen
I
Pan.
left it. I saw it with my parents, and that we were both.
Were they enjoying it?
No, they we sat up after 30 minutes. Or
You
something.
big Peter Pan fans?
I didn't mind the cartoon,
Hmm.
but yeah, no, it's painful. It's Hugh Jackman. He's got that bald cap, isn't he?
So yeah, he's like Blackbeard.
Ugh.
Who wants a Peter Pan origin story? The only thing I
guess
excited.
me.
Well, I'm excited for the fact that the director of The Green Knight's doing a new Peter Pan. I think that'll be fun.
Oh, that'd be good fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, not good. So yeah, so he should. It should be better.
Not recommend for Pan.
Well, it's a strong. Do we do? No, we're not doing Pan.
We're not doing Pan. Pan's long.
Yeah, I remember getting in. It's the ticket's 2.5 hours or something ridiculous.
2.5 hours of Pan.
It was critically panned. Did people write that?
I think so.
Yeah, good.
Although, get a hook to get this film off the stage. Things like that.
I love films that can
I know you gotta make your title criticism proof.
Yeah.
You know.
This podcast failed at that immediately.
Oh, it did, didn't it? Somebody nailed us so quickly. Who would listen to this? God, so
quick.
I know. I was like, we had it coming, and
Yeah.
they're right.
Citizen Kane. If that was bad, it's so easy to mock.
Yeah.
Citizen Kane. That's all I've got. Maybe it was actually a good film.
I know that. Oh God, what's Ari Aster's new film called? It's got one where you could definitely mock it.
I Eat Shoe.
It's called Disappointment Boulevard.
Oh,
I'm
no.
you're begging to be made fun of, Ari. What are you doing?
And his films, I love them, but they're slow-paced. A24 films. Someone's already written it up.
He's a confident fucking guy. Imagine, you know what? The confidence you'd have to be what's your new movie called? The worst movie in the world.
A snore fest. It's about a man who gets snoring powered at a film festival.
I'd watch that. God, if he turned into a snowman, that's a film.
That's a film.
All right, Oscar. Who do you think would watch The Woman in the Window?
If you want to see a Hitchcock film, but don't want to see a Hitchcock film, you want to see Amy Adams get really drunk in an apartment and take pills. So not really a Hitchcock film, more just Amy Adams just vibing. This is for you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Yeah, it's pretty much kind of like White Woman the film, isn't it?
White women, which
She's just white woman.
Oh,
in
right.
In a nice big rich house. Where's that money from?
Well, they say she hasn't worked for 10 months.
Yeah,
She's paying for therapy. Oh, God. She lives a great life.
she does.
I want this life so bad. Therapy.
I thought that literally the begins. Somebody brings her groceries. I was like, oh, the flex. I would kill for my husband and daughter to die so that
Yeah.
I could have this life.
Quite frankly, I might drive into a blizzard and start it quicker.
Oh, I might. Australia doesn't have blizzards. We're never gonna be happy.
God, we'll be stuck just drinking alone in our shitty apartments.
I want to see the Australian version of this that it's the road's too hot. Ah!
The tires are melting.
Oh, we've come to a stop.
Oh, I guess I'm gonna leave the car here. You guys don't get out. They get out the car, they melt into the road. At least the wine's nice and cheap.
Look, as I think we'll be discussing the entire month.
No, just real quickly, I'm gonna ruin it. You can't say fans not of the book.
Yeah, so I was about to say, I think that's probably going to be said for all of the films we review. They're not for the fans of the book. So, Who's it for? Look, I think it's pretty enough to put on mute in the background.
So what she does and just drink a bowl of wine and have pills and just mute this film. I'm agreeing. That sounds like a much better time.
I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you're... It's like it fails being a murder mystery on top of everything else, doesn't it? Like...
Yeah, no, I wasn't engaged. Like...
It's, one, not engaging. Especially when... This was a New York Times bestseller. It sold millions of copies. Like, it has quite an engaging mystery. Yeah. I don't know how you weren't able to communicate that to a visual medium.
With this many actors and director, like, I don't know what... Something went wrong. I still don't get test audiences, really.
No.
Like, I get if you're trying to make, like, just a pleasing film, but there's just some bits you're like, let's just change the whole... Like, so much stuff would... Anyway.
Well, I don't know whether to take it for its word or not, but I know that I read an account of somebody that said they saw in the test audience the original cut of this.
Yeah.
And they said it wasn't great, but it is much better. And they thought that the studio thought that from the audience going, oh, it's confusing, that they meant that they had to cut it down and make it more streamlined, when really everybody got it, but they were like, oh, it's just confused. Like, Inception's confusing.
Yeah.
You get Inception.
Yeah.
Like, just because it's the word and doesn't mean it's a negative.
No.
Right?
And also, those films are great because if you get it, you're like, I got Inception. I actually understood it. Inception. Tenet, it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
I think we're on the tail end of, like, Gone Girl's success, and movies and books trying to be like the girl on the train and the woman in the window and
just
the girl on the
females
water.
doing stuff.
I know. Like, the Gone Girl's such a higher cut of literature than all these other ones, made for a much more compelling film.
Is Gone Girl the book like a lot sort of high, like less sort of murder mystery? Like,
It's like a good pulpy book,
yeah,
from a really terrific writer.
Gotcha.
That tackles like thematic elements of marriage and things. Like, there's a lot more going on in it than it is like. Well, it's like the film. Like that's an intellectual.
Yeah.
I hate to say.
Yeah.
Cut that.
No. Double down. You're a smart boy for listening for liking Gone Girl. You're a dumb poo-poo for liking anything else. But yeah, go on.
But like, Gone Girl's like a film.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like, that's a really good.
Yeah, it's
movie.
a good film. Yeah.
And that's because that source material's really strong. You know.
I don't know where they dropped the ball with this.
I know. I don't understand how you can't just adapt what you got.
Just adapt better.
I know.
Us as producers, we just adapt it better.
Yeah, this movie cost like $40 million, and Gone Girl made like over 300 million. I would have just been like, scrap it. Here's another 40. Let's just hope it's a hit. Delete this.
Oh,
have another go. Quick palate cleanser.
Yeah, I think so.
I already do.
Oh, you already did a palate cleanse, didn't you? Did we?
No, I watched Boogie Nights. That's why I brought it up earlier.
That's right. You fucked up the fucking. Yeah, have you seen Boogie Nights before?
No, I hadn't. It's one of the few I hadn't seen.
I've been very keen to watch it, so
I think it's probably one of his best.
Nice,
because it's so not like his other films.
You've seen so There Will Be Blood.
Yeah, The Master, Punch Drunk Love.
Yep,
Magnolia.
I've heard mixed things about Magnolia.
Yeah, I don't like Magnolia. That's his most pretentious one.
Fair enough.
Like, there's good stuff in it.
Yeah,
but like at over 3 hours and fucking ambiguity through the roof and slow.
Hells yeah.
So it's like, it's just one of those things where I was like, oh, could it just end?
But yeah, Boogie Nights.
Phantom Thread's quite good. Yeah, no, I thought it was really good. It's like really good. It has it's just like not like one of his other films. It moves at a really fast pace.
Mm-hmm.
It has great comedic like elements to it. The cast is terrific. It's kind of like, it's what I thought Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was going to be.
Gotcha.
That, I think, is the best way of putting it.
I've watched the start. I had to stop it because I think I was on a plane. It's very good, but you are right with the Once Upon a Time thing.
Yeah.
Because that's the sort of vibe you're going into. Oh, fuck. Once Upon... I get it, and I like watching it, and I kind of want to rewatch it knowing what it is, but like, yeah.
Same. I feel like I might enjoy it more knowing what it is. I just was like, Boogie Nights is such an energetic and fun film, and it builds climactically in a really clever ways and stuff. Like yeah.
Also, it sucks. He was like 27 when he made that.
I know, it's annoying.
It's upsetting. It's just like, fuck you.
I've got to make a Boogie Nights level film in the next 2 years of my life.
We can do that. Well, the podcast is kind of the same level, I'd say.
You're right. You know what? If anybody went and watched Boogie Nights instead of listening to the podcast, I'm going to take credit for that.
Yeah, fair enough. That's fair enough.
Technically, I did that. Go on.
Well, similar vein to Boogie Nights, I watched Miss Congeniality for the first time.
Why? Who with?
I watched it with a female friend. Yes. And she like, I feel like a lot of people watched it when they were a bit younger. She was like, fuck it, can we watch this? I'm like, yeah, sure. It was funny watching, you know, when you're watching like a film with someone that you like, and then you kind of come to the realization it's not that good. Like I was watching, we started watching Groundhog Day, because she just watched Palm Springs, and it's like, oh, it's not as good. I was like, oh, let's turn it off. So we watched Miss Congeniality.
I love Groundhog Day.
I did. I really do, but we're watching the start, and Palm Spring jumped straight into it.
Yeah.
Groundhog Day is like, what is this concept? You start the day. It's like, was that for 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Still good. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, persevere with that film. I don't think you gave that a chance.
Oh, no, I love it.
Yeah.
I've already watched it, but like I was watching with someone wanting them to like it, so I'm like, it's fine, we'll watch something else.
I know. Isn't it terrible when you're trying to force a friend to like a thing
Yeah.
that you like, and you're like, it's not a pleasant experience
It's not.
for you.
It's not. I immediately, I could like tell it was slightly droopy. Like, we'll turn it off.
Yeah, I was watching the Midnight in Paris with somebody, and they were just
I like
hating
that.
it. And
That's
I was
not
like,
that's not a film you watch with pals. That's not a come round. Let's watch a Midnight in Paris.
I was watching it with pals. They were just like, oh, I want something like a fun location and a good premise, and I was like, that's what that is. So yeah, and they were just like,
I couldn't think of a worse film to watch with like a chum.
why not? That's
don't
such
know.
a good film.
It's a great film. It's just films you watch by yourself. Anyway, Miss Congeniality was nuts.
Michael Caine's phenomenal in it.
Michael Caine's a blast. The head cop is such a funny character.
Yeah.
He's just like
from Catwoman.
Oh, he is from Catwoman. Fuck, he's got some ties. But I love the whole thing of Sandra Bullock's the most fugly girl. And then they have that reveal of her walking down which is a fun makeup scene, but it's just
The
like
makeover scene is
her in a
great.
dress
It's like
and her
one of
hair
the best
down. It's
ones.
like, wow, she's gorgeous. I'd fuck her in an instant before she's an ugly dame, but now I want to fuck her hard.
William Shatner's at the end.
Oh, he's fun actually. He's a lot of fun. It's a fun one, but it's I don't know. It definitely aged.
Yeah, that's fair. I
Yeah.
think it's fine still. I've watched it recently, and it's like a good time.
It's goodish time.
It is too long. I do remember it's like an hour 50. I'm
It's
like,
an hour 50. Oh, maybe it's okay. Maybe it's okay. I don't know. Just I kind of got why people like it, but it's yeah.
there's like a good line in it. I can't remember what it is, but it's like, what's your ideal of a perfect date? And she's like,
Oh yeah,
December
April
tw-
23rd.
Yeah.
Not too hot, not too cold. She was good fun, but I've seen that like image like 1,000 times on Twitter. So it's
Oh,
like,
okay.
Ho hum.
All right, Oscar, what are we reviewing next week?
Next week we're going to be reviewing a little YA novel. Now, in the spirit, we thought we just did Twilight, so we probably shouldn't do another series. So we're going to jump head first into the third Divergent series, Allegiant.
That's right. It's not only a little novel, it's half a novel.
It's half a novel. I've not seen a single one of them. I don't know. I don't know anything about them. I'd let you know anything. There's nothing in the zeitgeist about what these are about, so I'm very keen.
Yeah, I'm keen to experience this with you. I've seen the first two in cinemas.
Oh, perfect. So this is you're finally getting the half of a final you've always wanted.
Oh, that's right.
Well, thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
I'm waving.